Alright, welcome to Dreadnought Part 29. So, yeah, even though there's going to be 30 videos on this channel for a little while, just because technology can be fun sometimes, can't it? Yeah, that unexpected error with my phone. I thought it was all nice and good to go, and it didn't. I trusted my technology, and it came to bite me in the face. So, last time I did all that work trying to get my little UV lamp creation to work. So this time, I'm going to be putting in some effort to make another photo etch thing for, the mask. That's what it's called. And along with that, I'm going to see if I can't actually get some etching done. I've got the etchant. I've got a developer. I've got just about everything I need, including some stripper, if I'm not mistaken, right? I can always find more stripper, I guess. Go buy some. I might have to. This looks like I might have to. Oh, dear. Oh, well. Again, where would the fun be and everything if everything worked the first time, right? Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and get cracking on that. And, yeah, I will, yeah. Alright. Hopefully I have some success to show you this week. Unfortunately, I don't have any successful photo etch in this video, but I have learned a lot, and well, that's always a successful thing, is learning how to do it better the next time. So here I learned a bit more about this transparency film I got, and I'm going to share it with you in just a second. But yeah, this is going to be an interesting video because a lot of it is not going to be in time-lapse. Just to let you know now. Alright, so I had done previously, before starting this vid, a little experiment with this new transparency paper I had, and it didn't seem to work too nicely. And what you saw me start in the beginning there was thinking, okay, maybe just to get the ink to stick better, that I'd rough up the surface there. And I was thinking, okay, rub it along, and then I'm getting some uneven, wear on, and then I noticed I got this white schmutz on my little sanding sponge I got, which was just to me a 3000 grit. So I don't want a lot of, scratching on this at all. I just want literally just enough to get that ink to really stick. And I noticed something. I figured, okay, I might as well clean with alcohol, because I had it around, and didn't work. That white schmutz was just plastic that I've been rubbing off. Didn't quite work, though. Gotta turn off that compressor there. Forgive the hiss. Yeah, so what I did is I set the air compressor to high, right? Because when I rubbed it off with alcohol, I noticed that the alcohol was chemically attacking the transparency film. So I'm like, I can roughen this up an easier way through chemical attack. So what you saw me just doing towards the end of that little clip was I grabbed some isopropyl alcohol and I went ahead and I sprayed, maybe you can see the results, maybe not, all along this sheet. So just at that microscopic, not perceivable by people level, try and rough it up that little bit. I'd like to think it actually worked. It looks like it's got some grip to it. Well, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to see if this works better. And if it is, I'll bring it down here. Wish me luck. What we should have wished was me properly designing this particular file for the photo etching. I'm going to discuss all of what I did wrong here. Hey, it printed great, but I printed the wrong thing. As I'm going to find out in just about a second of this and a few more moments for you. Bing! Okay, so I was merrily working on this nice little piece here. I was even starting to tape it together with some masking tape, but that's the size of it. And then I realized something. Tell me when you catch on to this. This is the shape that I've made that I want my photo etch to look like. The ink shields the photoresist from UV rays. The UV rays cure the photoresist, and that's where my metal is going to be. It's not going to be under all the black stuff where my metal shows up. It's going to be under all the clear stuff. I am sure you now see my problem. At least I found it now, rather than chewing up that sheet. But good news is I went to Lowe's today and I got all sorts of fun stuff. So I've got myself a ceramic tile now, so I can be very flat with, you know, cutting, and hard for cutting photo etch up. I figured I needed that for a while. It was a buck, and it was good enough contrast, and I figured, man, reasonably smooth. But here is the piece de la resistance, a big thing of ferric chloride that I was able to get from, I think I got that from Amazon, that I got from Lowe's, that I got from Walmart. So that is my developer. It's sodium carbonate. Not bicarbonate, which is baking soda, but carbonate, which is washing soda. Which I guess you can make by baking soda for some time. But, I mean, they sell it ready to go in a big box. Why would I not? It's washing soda. There we go, that's what it's called. Why would I not use that instead? Then I've got a... Okay, yep, there we go. Sorry for the bright flash. Then I got lye. If you watched Fight Club, this is lye, the essential ingredient. There's no chemical burn. Not doing it. I don't care. Not even for a million sub special. Not doing it. And then, of course, there's ferric chloride, which is the etchant. Now, these tubs will serve as both, you know, things to do my developing, etching, and you know, my developing, my stripping, and my etching in, as well as ways to kind of store some of this stuff. And eventually, I'll have to find some good way to, you know, pour it in a hazardous material container. Well, I got plenty of those laying around, so I'll use that. That'll be easy enough. I have funnels. Then, of course, I got a scale, I got measuring cups, so I'm all ready to go. I will soon be... Not only will I soon be getting to photo etching, it's also very soon that I'll have this thing that I've been trying to judiciously keep my camera angles from revealing anything of out of the shop, and I'll be able to, you know, use all the camera angles again. Won't that be something? Oh dear. I hear one of the kids. Well, guess I'm gonna have to go see what that's about. Alright. I know what you all are thinking. Okay, Rich, I knew you tended to go all out for things when you started actually putting things that look like dishes on those mess hall plates, but why the candles? It's October, but that's a bit much, even for you. Well, power's out. So I guess what happened is down the street there was a couple of power lines and a tree decided to squash them. Also, I'm not sure if you're on this neighbor, but if you are, I hope things get better for you. One of my neighbors, a couple houses away, up the street, yeah, a tree also fell on that poor guy's house. Not related to the power lines, but, yeah. So, I wish you knew the guy's name. I could, I don't know, maybe say if there's a Patreon or something. But thankfully the guy's a landlord, so I can assume there's insurance involved. And, ugh, still, not cool, not cool. But yeah, so obviously that's going to slow down me doing things in the shop because everything here uses electricity. Now, I guess I could get a bunch more of these candles or maybe a couple of good oil lamps and then see if I could do modeling by candlelight, but... Huh. Well, that could be interesting, couldn't it? Alright, well... Can I do that? I'm not stupid enough. Alright. Peace out. Hopefully the power comes back on soon. Sweet. Oh, hey, by the way. Except for some empty boxes, the shop is clear. Da, 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 da. More camera angles. Hooray! Not that I'm going to be jolting the camera around and switching angles, you know, at an interesting rate anytime soon. That's going to require, like, just 2 cameras to make a practical thing. But, you know, Christmas and birthday are both coming because I was born in the same month of Christmas. So, anyways. So, I want to make a photo etch tonight. That means I got to make a new mask. I got to prepare the substrate, I guess is what they call a metal you're etching. I don't know all the technical terms. I'm sure I can figure it out. Not hard. Just Google it, but I'm lazy. Anyways, so I'm going to prepare another piece of the transparency film for being used to make a mask. And I guess I could go two ways. One of them is to just use the print-on side without alcohol and see if that works. And then if that doesn't work, make another with the alcohol. You know what? I learned something either way. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Generate this lovely mask I'm hoping for. And then we'll go ahead and I guess we'll get started. Alright. Wow, you're still watching. Thank you. So here I make the photo mask, this time the right way, and I go ahead and I tape it together, and then I start preparing my thing that I'm etching. So I just polish it up as good as I can with the Tamiya sanding sponges. You know, nice, quick, easy, still the same grit as the polishing pads that the original kit provided, and does a good job of getting it all ready to adhere to the photoresist, which then I grab and I start preparing, as well as getting the laminator ready, so that it will just warm up while I'm preparing all this. I put down the photoresist, then I tape it down, and I think here I get a pretty good idea to fold over the tape, and then use that to kind of hold the everything in place. Now, here, I didn't know that I didn't have to have a fold in my photoresist before putting it through that laminator, but, well, I learned that later on, and I use it to my advantage. There I go, though. I laminate twice, and, well, there's some bubbles in it, but overall, it's not too bad. I then proceed to develop it in my giant UV fun box, and yeah, here's where I found that it was just still too fuzzy in some places. And at that point, I learned a little lesson, which is, yeah, I wanted to apply some level of pressure between this photoresist and the actual thing I was etching. Here I go. Now I start preparing my etchant and my developer solutions. And I'm doing that by mass using the scale. I was going to go for like a 10% developer solution, but that didn't quite seem to, then I remembered I only had like maybe 1% in my first one. I actually looked it up in my little book there. And after trying to develop everything here, I'm like, well, this doesn't seem to really work all that good. And then I decided the heck with it, because it's kind of fuzzy, I decided at that point to strip after, I think. So, yeah, this is the good part of having all these totes. Makes it easy to hold things, makes it so you can kind of, store some of the stuff that you're using while, maybe being able to use it as well. And here I am preparing the lye solution. It's about 10%, and I actually get the 10% just about right here. Mix in the water, stir things up, and then find out that, hey, this warmed up a bit on me. So there I go, and now I'm brushing it all away. I developed it, and then it didn't quite work, so I go ahead and I just strip it all away. Using some developer, just gonna rinse. Hoping that the lye will actually up the oomph in that developer solution, perhaps. Now I'm again sanding, and trying to make all nice and polished, and here's where I learned that the lye will actually affect the, how the surface of the brass is after etching. So that I also learned quite nicely. Here I go once again, taking my sheet down and trying to have everything nice and even, and yeah. So what I've learned some things, such as you want to cut that sheet right down to the size of the thing you're etching, and then you want to kind of squeegee out all the moisture that you use. And the last bit also is actually what is it? Oh, yeah. Yeah. Sorry, my brain is totally blank. Oh, yeah, squeegeeing it out all the moisture. And use a little bit of moisture evenly applied, like with an airbrush to the developer work test. So, what I've been doing here with this heat gun, as I was mulling over about evenness of moisture, is trying to bend some thinner pieces of plastic in the hope that it would actually apply that even pressure, hold everything down together kind of thing. Here I found out I kind of should have held those clamps in a different way, and here I start making holes to go ahead and put some hardware through to secure these two pieces together, hoping that it'll all be nice and even when it's all held together, because it's all bowed out nice and reasonably even. And I learned that this approach just doesn't work, so I take these screws and I put them somewhere else. Not somewhere unpleasant, just somewhere else. Alright, time to get through this time-lapse section and on to the next bit of me talking. Here we are. Alright, so after figuring out how to actually drill through the plastic and not totally ruin it, and still failing at that quite a bit, I've come to the conclusion that, yeah, that plastic stuff ain't quite going to work. Reason I say that is even though I could fit this all in there, it's not really going to squeeze it flat like I want it to. There's going to be the gap up here, the gap down there. It's not quite going to work out so good. What to do? Only thing I can think to do is to just make a 3x4, which will, at least to the best of my knowledge, fit in this. And this will squeeze it reasonably. That squeezes it no better. Hold the phone. This only squeezes it slightly better. Yeah, even if I brought it all together, it still really wouldn't do it unless I were to put like more holes in it, make it more even. Which would probably work, actually. Huh. I'm just thinking about things I've observed in the past. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make the... Oh, is these the same thread? I bet yeah, they are, because life's funny like that. I'm not surprised. Okay, so... Okay, never mind. That shopping spree was not a complete waste. I will be recycling some of these nuts, like 4 of them. And I'll be using them to enhance what I already had. And I'll remember this is a lesson for when I go and get something a little better later on. I'll have to get it thicker. Probably want to get it custom machined. Or just, you know, machine it myself when I've got the equipment to do it right custom. That'll be a while. Alright. And I'll just make my life easy by pulling these 2 out right now. And I'm just going to drill into the centers of those sides, and hopefully that does it. That makes it easy to use. Okay, so first, 1. So this is 4 inches by 4 inches. Doesn't really fit, as you can tell. So if I do 3.5 by 3.5, I bet that would just barely fit in there. That'd be the biggest I could do. I wanted to do things like 4x4, but I guess I'm going to have to get some better stuff first. Which is okay, that happens. Bet you glass panes would do a good job with the frame. That's what I'll have to do next time. Like some glass panes that are like really flat, and use those for this kind of work. All right. Okay. Back to the part where I do machining, I guess. All right. So just to make my thought process clear here, outside of tee things spin. My thinking was that by having the pressure of the 2 plates pushing that whole mess of mask and etch sheet together, by making that pressure more even, I keep the mask closer to more of the metal surface, so that it stays there. The silhouette created by it when I'm doing the UV cure. And it actually greatly improves the quality of the etches that I can get. And this is sort of proven the case later, but it doesn't show up in this video. Alright, so after doing a bit of measuring, I found out that my next design fret's going to have to be 75mm by 75mm for its outer bounds, just to fit within this pieces of plastic that I've drilled out. Now, the reason I moved over drilling those was I was looking at my thin pieces of plastic and my thicker ones. I'm like, wait a minute. Seeing a little bit of waviness in between, I'm like, hold on. Could I potentially improve, the quality that turns out by simply adding additional points to apply pressure? And it'd be funny, but I'm gonna venture a guess that fixes some issues, which is great for me. So I'm gonna go ahead and work that out on my computer, because that way I can have a nice essentially 3" by 3" fret that I can use to go ahead and get some good results with. All right, but enough of my silliness. I'm gonna go ahead and work on that. And speaking of my silliness here, so here I am once again trying to get a good command of this etching, and I go ahead and I sand it down using some stronger sandpaper this time. And this does end up coming to bite me when I try to make another photo etch bit, because it allows the resist that I try to laminate on there to just really easily come off, which is unfortunate. So what I'm doing now is I'm actually using the scalpel to cut up the sheet, so that way I can get the to get it to the right size, that 3 by 3 size that I've gone and created a new mask for. This new mask includes things for not just people, but also for stairs, which is a big thing in this. And as you'll see when I'm setting up Dreadnought 30, yay, 30, dirty 30. Okay, enough of that. It actually was a pretty good way to go, but there's still improvements that can be made, like with everything in life. Alright, so here's me talking about the results, though, of this thing. Alright. Moment of truth. Will it work? Come on, baby. Took a lot of effort to try to get all the water from out in between them, using as little as I thought I could get away with to, keep all the air out, get everything nice and even up. Big freaking air bubble. God damn it. Okay, well, I've leveled out that air bubble at least. Okay. Well, I think this is one of the best I've got yet. It's one of the best I'm going to get. So now, the next part to this whole escapade is going to be developing it. Or rather, first I guess curing it and then developing it. So, I'm going to put this little thingamajig here. Break out the developer. Hope that it works when I do this whole thing with it. Alright, there's that. You can barely see that in there, but what if I were to bring this right about here? This should mount it here, with a bit of luck. Give you a reasonable view of the shop, and yes it does. And now we're low on battery. Great. Alright, hold on. I'm going to change the battery, and then we're going to do this. Okay. Now, that's all settled, let's go ahead and cure this thing. So, as you saw, I made a little adjustment to some of the previous equipment that I had in the hopes that it'll give me the enhanced performance that I seek. But I still gotta set this thing up properly, and just so, just gonna have to careful. I think that will be about jackpot. Perfect. Alright, now put that there. This right in there should fit just barely. And barely it fits. Okay, now carefully move that over here. And now I've got these 8 screws to do. And 8 screws I shall do. Going around now that I've got the screws and, well, going through, trying to do them all, and eventually I will get them into position. Yep, going right along there. That little bit you just saw me do there, without this on there, was to warm up that lamp in case there's a warm-up period for how that thing works. And now you see me loosening some of these, all the screws, and I'm removing one of them to flip around that etch. That's the thing that I did, so that way I can keep things not only even, but also make sure all the stuff that needed to get exposed to UV got exposed. And of course, this is when that etch came off that I warned, but I still learned something, and that is, this does give good results or workable results. Alrighty. Because it's once again Saturday evening / Sunday morning, and I have yet again nothing to show for it, I might as well at least give a post-mortem, if we will, on all that's happened, because I've learned some things. One, I want to apply even pressure to that, to the entirety of that mask so it is crisply showing on the sheet. You want to project that image and have it show up nice and crisp. That's one. Two, I need to once again calibrate my exposure times. I should have probably done a bit of a characterizing bit with that light, but that's life. So I will more than likely be doing something on those lines, or just again going up to the higher exposures I had before. That said, while there were some unfortunate bits, there were also some really good things too. I've enhanced this a lot. This applies much more even pressure, and I'll be honest, it showed. The lines that I saw were very crisp. That's a good thing. That's going to help me a lot going forward. That will lower my attrition rates. By attrition rate, I mean the bits of photo etch that I can't use for various reasons. So that's good. And I've also learned that other transfer sheet, this stuff, is usable. So now I have more suppliers than just Micromark. Not to knock them, they're a good supplier, but still. I like to save money where I can. I am cheap. I learned that the off-the-shelf stripper works. I've learned that the developer seems to be having a little trouble. Not sure if it's just because it's cold down here or whatnot. Maybe I should add a little more of the developer to it and maybe increase the strength. That's not a bad idea, I don't think. Maybe I'll do that. Other than that, though, I think I'll be able to get good results at this point with these off-the-shelf parts, which is actually very, very good for me. I guess maybe one of the last things also is that, the hardest part is getting that wrist-on stuff to stick. And it did not stick this time. That's unfortunate. The only thing I can think of is that after having been run through so many times, both the lamination process and then getting wiped down with the sandpaper and then finally going with that rough grit, I bet that rough grit left it so that the metal wasn't quite sticky enough in the way that the film needed. So I'm going to have to get another section of sheet for photo etching, which is easy enough to do. And then I'm going to have to try again, but that is not really going to be tonight's project because it's sometime in the morning, and I should at least try to get some rest. Oh, that's late. Okay, well, till then, I'm Rich. This has been Dreadnought Part 29. And, to end it off, like, share, subscribe, hooray! Okay, see you later. Bye-bye.